Hello everyone, welcome to day 216 of playing chess every day for you. Let's find the game. e4, we get e5, we can go straight into an Italian. I'll simply stop them from going for the fried liver attack with h3. I'll go ahead and play c3, b4, a4 and a5. They have to play a6 here, and they do. They choose to go back, I can target this weakness. If they do castle, I just castle myself. I could castle now first actually. Bring my rook to the center and go after the bishop. Developing the knight seems very nice. I'll bring my bishop. Don't know to which square. I could play rook e1 and then just go ahead and trade here. This is weak now, but after I trade the bishop, they'll have no pressure on my dark squares, so I am seeing that this is very weak now. If they allowed me to get my queen to a2 or b3, that would be very dangerous for them. They go ahead and push. If I take, they can take. I can simply take the pawn first to target the knight. I could take and then attack the piece with queen b3. Queen to b3 attacks the knight. They go ahead and defend it. But after that move, I can simply take on e5 with my knight. If they move their bishop, my knight becomes pinned to my rook. I always have the option of playing d4 to protect it. But if they move their bishop, they lose the piece, so it's a trade. They go ahead and take. I could take here to pin the bishop to the knight. With taking here, if I take, and I could kick the knight away now. I will go ahead and take. I'm threatening to win a piece here. It just takes, because if the queen takes, I take. If they take, they lose the rook. They probably just need to play c6. I need to develop my knight and bring my other rook into the game. c6 is their best move probably. They find it. I can go ahead and just develop my knight though and add pressure with my knight. Now they are threatening to move their bishop. Maybe. Although it doesn't have many good squares to go to. I'll bring my knight into the game. Knight b5 is a great square for the piece. Attacking the bishop and attacking the pawn. I mean, they could just move their knight now. They choose to slide their queen up to attack my rook. I could go ahead and take the knight now, because if they took my rook, I'd be able to take another piece, so that would be two pieces. If I take and they take, tempering the queen doesn't work. I guess I can just protect my rook with d4, and then go ahead and bring my knight into the game. This is a very weird cluster, but everything is held. I'll bring my knight to e4 to just cause more problems. The bishop's still pinned to the rook on the back rank, which is now undefended. They choose to go back to the back rank with their queen, and that makes sense. I still can't really go ahead and take the knight anyway, but knight to c5 would still be a good move for me. Just adding so much pressure to the position. I could bring my other rook first into the game, and then the knight. They go back with their rook. That's a smart move because it's stopping me from having any tactics. But my knight can come into the game now and just keep adding pressure onto my opponent. That's an interesting move. If I slide my rook is almost trapped. I only have one move with my rook. If I relieve the pressure now, I do have a knight's sacrifice. They can take two ways. I could relieve the pressure here and just take the knight. It seems okay now. Two of my pieces are hanging. If they take my rook, I take their bishop with check. My queen is hanging. I can take the rook. If they take my queen, I take their queen with check. I take my queen. I also have a knight sacrifice that I have to remember about. And it's also a discovered attack on their queen. I really want to see this. They take my queen. I take theirs. If the queen takes, I have a check which would pick up the queen. I feel like I've just confused myself and them. They go ahead and take with the rook, which is the best move. I can only slide back to protect the knight. Because if I move my queen anywhere else, I will lose the piece. And queen to c2. But my queen isn't pinned to anything. My knight isn't pinned to anything, so I can go ahead and just... Or if I move the knight, they pick up my rook with the check. I think I have to give the piece here. Now I'm down a pawn, so I technically lost material, but I'm in a good situation. With their queen, with their king extremely weak. They give me a check, but I can just simply run. And they don't have another check. Because the square is blocked. So they must have blundered here. Queen f1 to target this is a nice move, but I'm first to attack their king. And I'm gonna pick up all the pawns. If I check them, they block with their queen. I have this check, although that doesn't achieve much. Although this check they can block. And so check they can block. And that's not good. I'll go ahead and give this check instead. If they block, I can pick up a pawn. They don't want that. I can go ahead and threaten checks on this side now. They've done a good job to defend this. I'll just go queen h5 attacking this. They'd have to play king g7. Then I can go back. They give me a check. Could block here with my pawn. Or just run my king back. If I block, their bishop will be quite strong, so I choose just to slide back. That's a nice move, but I do have a check. They have to play king over. It's very annoying that they have a bishop because they have a piece. I'm up 2 pawns because I can't make any counterplay here because it's a light squared bishop. My pawn's on dark squares. If I put everything on dark squares, my light squares just become terribly weak. They cut me off from giving this check on g4, which is very annoying. I can't even come in now. I could run my light squares pawns up, but if I distract the bishop, their king can always just run. So I can't really gambit a pawn or attack them in any way here. I could run my king to the center, but I don't think that does that much. I could start with just expanding on the light squares to stop their bishop doing much. The bishop can come around to target the pawns, but I want to cut the bishop out of my half to have any kind of counterplay. I'm down a pawn, 1 point of material. And g4 might be a terrible move because their queen can come in and just put so much pressure on the f3 pawn and others. My way of winning this would be getting my queen to b7 and targeting so much. I don't think that's the best move because I have a check. The king steps over, I have another one. Maybe queen c8 is a good move to target this. Queen c8 targets a pawn with check. It has to be a good move. They don't have any checks at the moment and they can't really attack anything. Queen c8, I'm just attacking this. That's the only move that they had, really. But that lets me come in here. And if I'm able to undermine these pawns, I'd be doing very well. I think I can go and expand and try and force the bishop into moves now. They do have checks, so I have to be careful here. Maybe I'll slide my king up. I'll happily play g4 if it gives me the chance to bring my king close to the game. I could play h4. That doesn't control many squares. I have to be very careful about weakening my king with a move like g4. But I'll go for it anyway. If they lock me out, I'd actually be in trouble. But I could always bring my queen back with a move like queen b8. If I go here, they can give this check, winning a pawn. But I have checks of my own. And my queen protects me. Yeah, so king g3 has to be the best move. If they check me here, I run with my king. And they don't have actually any checks here because of my pawns. If they check me, maybe I actually just play king f4. My king seems safe. Okay, so maybe if I take, they have a check winning a pawn. Maybe king f4 is the best move. They can't check me. They really can't check me on these two squares. They'd have to probably go back. Taking can't be good. I just walk into so much danger. Now I'm threatening to take b7 with check. These squares are safe. Oh wow, I missed one move that loses the game on the spot. Queen d2. Wow, the pawn stops me from escaping. That's a mating that I did not see at all. I missed that move completely. Let's have a look at this game. I played with an 83.9, they played with a 94.3. I made one blunder this game. They made one mistake, I made two. I played like a 1750, they played like a 1950. This was all good. All of this is really good. And it's well played. That's a mistake, which lets me bring my knight. d4 is a good move. Bring my rook is best. I actually should have taken the bishop because the rook took. How come I should have taken the bishop? Because rook takes e6, bishop takes d5, C takes d5, and then queen takes d5, pinning the rook. Then they play queen f7, and I have moves like rook e3. It's an interesting line. Instead I blunder here, because I give them the move f5. Queen c5 is a blunder. The best move I had was queen b1. What's the difference? I guess the big difference is that I'm protecting my back rank. So I'm always able to move my knight. That's a huge difference. Queen b1 and queen c2. Queen b1 is much stronger, protecting my rook on the back rank. I give them this move and now I'm losing. So giving my knight is the best move because I'm losing it either way. To pick up a rook and a pawn. So now I'm only down 1 point of material. They give a check, and it's a good move. I can't trade my queen, it's my only source of counterplay this game. Putting my pawns on light squares is not the best, but it's not a bad move. It tells me to go queen back, I guess, to have pressure on the e-file. I come in to attack the b7 pawn. They have to protect it, and that was the only move that they had. If they made any other move, they would have lost this with check. And I'd be able to pick up all these pawns and just push on the queen side and probably win the game from a losing position. So queen to e7 was the only move they had. It's a good find. I bring my king up, and g4 is a very weak move because they can give a check, and I actually had to go back instead of up with my king. This doesn't lead to any mates. We can always just repeat moves. So probably I had to go to king g1. Instead I choose to step up, and that's a big mistake. It gives mate in 2. Wow, so taking the pawn is very bad. Queen f2 is actually mate. Walks into a mating net. So my choice to go up with my king to g3 was a terrible move. Here if I don't defend the pawn, I mean I would lose the pawn. But they'd lose theirs with a check, but actually they're doing completely fine. Their move is just king h6. They are completely safe. Even if I'm able to promote. I mean this just gives them mid checkmate in 4. I'm just much worse here. I should have gone back with my king. I would have been still losing by a lot. But the big mistake that I made was actually g4. Just weakens my king so much. And it weakens f3 a lot, which helps the queen to target. But either way, that's it for today guys. Thank you guys for watching and I'll see you tomorrow.